Oda has just shown us the true power of Imu-sama, where it was his ability that allowed the Gorosei to fight unharmed at Egghead. While we were busy glazing these dudes hockey, calling it Yonko level, turns out it was all Daddy's borrowed demon power.
Chris, take this L.
But with this power, the Gorosei changed the battlefield, securing every objective they were there to complete, like defeating Emperor Luffy. Okay, they did halt Vegapunk's message. They did that. Alright, there's Vegapunk's death. You can't take that away from them. They actually achieved that.
I am having a very bad day. I am in no mood. Today is one of the worst days that I've had in a long time.
It's okay though, because Imu has just done an entire shakeup of the Gorosei, taking out the trash and bringing in some new blood with rat genes. I'm talking about Saint Garling Figarland, who has just joined the Gorosei with Monkey D.Dragon likely coming for his ass. He didn't come to Egghead though. However, the events of Egghead has not only upended the Gorosei, but turned Imu's entire world order upside down, especially within the government agencies, as we see Rob Lucci and Kaku lie straight out their teeth saying that Stussy is dead. But we know that she lived through the Egghead incident, now able to live freely as her own person thanks to Lucci and Kaku's lies. These two are supposed to be some of the most devout people in their position, yet after being discarded as mere insects by the Gorosei, they too are doubting the justice they execute. But you know what the real injustice is? Oda delaying our arrival to Elbaf. Alright, look, I know we're all sad that we still didn't go to Elbaf this chapter, but fear not, because right now our sponsor Goddess of Victory Nikkei is coming out with a brand new event collaboration with Evangelion. Goddess of Victory Nikkei is an immersive cross-platform sci-fi RPG shooter where you can finally recruit some adorable Nikkeis that allow you to command and form your own waifu squad to engage in immersive battle. There's also a variety of gameplay including roguelike, puzzles, and cooperation battles that you can explore. You're not alone playing Nikkei though, as the game has been downloaded over 30 million times and has been ranked #1 at the top of the charts on Google Play and App Store all over the world. However, the best part is the new update, where Nikkei is collaborating with the 2 episodes of the new Eva movie series, where the event boss Gatekeeper will appear as the 6th angel from Eva, against whom you can gear up and play using Asuka, Rei, Mari, and my favorite, Misato, who are all coming to Nikkei with brand new costumes. By the way, Misato you can even obtain for free super easily. Download Goddess of Victory Nikkei now with our link in the description. I know Sanji would. All is not bad though. The Marines still have the Seraphim, Sea Beasts, and especially Mother Flame. According to Saturn, this result should be more than enough for him to keep his job. Meanwhile, the 9 Vice Admirals are terribly sorry that they failed to capture a 10-year-old. Even with their grand buster call, they lost. Y'all are trash.
Trash.
So the Vice Admirals want to pursue the Straw Hats into Elbaf to gain some, or you lost to a 10-year-old. What are you gonna do against an emperor? Oh my god. You know what? I'm with Saturn on this one. He just tells them,
You're not him.
Then the dumbest of the Vice Admirals, Doberman, decides to open his mouth. Why? You could have just shut up. Just keep your mouth closed, bro. Bro says, as a humble and loyal soldier. He should be saying, as a humbled and loyal soldier, he has one question. What was Vegapunk's message true? Instantly, Saturn, with one look, kills this fraud in front of everyone. Honestly, these insects are getting on big man Saturn's nerves, because he's more worried about Vegapunk's message than anyone, as it was his up that led to it not being stopped in time. Turns out that 200 years ago, when Emmet came back to life and tried to climb the red line, Saturn was ordered to scrap the robot. However, he thought they could use the technology inside of it to create stronger weapons, so instead he gave Dr. Garaki from My Hero full authority to study it. Of course, nothing came out of it because the robot just stayed dormant for 200 years with everyone paying it no attention until it got activated once more due to Gear 5's haki. If Emmet was scrapped according to a likely order coming straight from Imu, the whole egghead incident would have gone towards the Gorosei's favor because Luffy and the gang still don't know a way to deal damage to the Gorosei. It was only due to Emmet's stored Joy Boy Haki that allowed for 4 of the Gorosei to be sent back to Marie-Joie while giving the Straw Hats the chance to slip away from Saturn's grasp. Another thing slipping away from Saint J. Garcia are the borrowed aura points from Imu. Because we head into Marie-Joie where things are dire. Celestial dragons can't even have a nice steak. They are having to settle for mere fish like a fucking peasant. While this guy couldn't even have his snackies, bro. He couldn't have his Takis, his Doritos Dynamite. Jokes aside though, the situation in Marie-Joie is getting to a point where the desperation of the Celestials is causing them to kill the people they depend on, like the chef. It's going to be quite pathetic. Their hunger is gonna lead to huge rifts among the different Celestial families with infighting and ranks being drawn between them. Imagine food runs out to the point where the Celestials start cannibalizing each other, a reminder of what they have done to countless countries by stealing their foods. You know, and this happening right now, who is it all thanks to? Say it with me, Monkey D.Dragon. He did this. He's causing this famine at Marie-Joie, bro. That's my goal. Put some respect. People always say he did nothing, but look, he took a celestial steak from his mouth. Anyway, the problem at Marie-Joie has to be fixed, and Imu-sama, being the true king, has a solution. As Shanks' father, Saint Garling Figarland, is invited to the Room of Authority. Currently, Garling is the leader of the God's Knight, who are the elite soldiers that answer directly to Imu-sama. He not only has served diligently under the Gorosei for decades, but is hinted to have power that could rival Whitebeard during the God Valley incident, where in the hunts, he was always a fan favorite of the Celestials. However, his arrival into the Room of Authority surprises the remaining 4 Gorosei, as they question why is he here. But Garling reveals that Imu-sama has just appointed him as the new science warrior god of 5 elder planets. This is a great play by Imu, as Figarland, being the Gorosei, not only will help calm the Celestials, but his favor as the God's Knight's captain will also help strengthen the Celestial military. But the biggest reveal with Garling's appointment is that there is a path for Celestials to climb up the ranks and gain favor with Imu to essentially gain immortality, which now means Saturn has been fired. And this firing is gruesome, with Saturn screaming for mercy as his body reverts back to his old and decrepit self, where if he wasn't being kept alive by Imu's powers, then he would be 6 feet under decomposed. That's the level his body goes back to. This confirms our theory that the Gorosei's power is boosted by Imu's own haki, so to defeat the Gorosei, you must kill the head of the Hydra first, or figure out a way to unlink the Gorosei from Imu. Joy Boy's haki was able to unbind this spell with his stored haki that caused 4 members who were summoned to Egghead using demonic circles to be teleported back to Marie-Joie. Perhaps in Egghead, we might see a power like a Haki Zone, domain expansion.
Infinite fractions.
Okay, that could happen though, like a Haki Zone where outside interference is cancelled out during a fight, okay? It's like a domain expansion, but not really.
Damn, that's crazy.
Another thing Garling's appointment confirms is that he's now the strongest member of the Gorosei, because Garling has the imagery of the moon around him. You know, if his crescent hairdo didn't give it away, then I don't know what will. Like, get your eyes checked, bro.
I'm blind, Carl, not stupid.
Every Gorosei member and many other integral characters to the One Piece story are themed around planets and celestial bodies. You have Mercury, Venus, Mars, Saturn, Jupiter of the Gorosei. Luffy is the sun. Blackbeard is the darkness or the black hole that devours everything. The ancient weapons represent the outer planets of Uranus, Pluto, and Neptune. This also gives us a hint towards what Garling's power might end up being. All of the Gorosei members have some kind of yokai or mythical beast as their zone forms, right? So Garling's might be the dog Fenrir from Norse mythology. We already have Shanks Figarland with links to Tyr from the same Norse nebula. So his father or relative Garling also having such a link makes perfect sense. Furthermore, Fenrir is also a creature that's heavily associated with the moon through its children, of which Fenrir has 2 opposites, Skull and Hati, which could be Shanks and the mysterious Shanks-like figure we saw during the introduction of the God's Knight. That's Shanks' evil brother, right guys? ABD told me like months ago. Also, you know Saturn, who Garling Garling is replacing, well, guess what one of the moons of Saturn is called? Fenrir. Garling is also the celestial body closest to Earth, or Imu, as Imu backwards is Umi, which is water in Japanese. And guess what most of the One Piece world is? Water. While Garling is now the moon which sways the tides of water on Earth, representing Garling being the prime mover of Imu's will, both metaphorically and literally, as with the world flooding. So after the fumble done by the Gorosei, Imu is likely to favor his new appointment Garling much more. Plus, him now being the youngest member who has seen more combat in recent years than the OG Gorosei, he has to be the strongest, especially considering his pedigree from God Valley. Furthermore, another interesting fact about the planets is that Venus rotates opposite of Earth, so this might be a new hint by Oda suggesting that there'll be a betrayal amongst the Gorosei, especially after they have just seen how merciless Imu-sama can be if one of them messes up. But while Imu killed Saturn, he seems more mad that Joy Boy's haki penetrated the world once more. Why does that sound? To an immortal being with such great powers, things like the world knowing his secret is more of a small hindrance that can be cleared up by simply wiping out a few islands with Uranus and Mother Flame. Something that is unforgivable for Imu though is Joy Boy, the man who Imu's Pookie Lily decided to duo with instead of him 800 years ago. Imu is immortal, bro. Why did she pick the other dude? This is why I play solo, guys. This is why I play solo. But regardless, Imu literally sucking Saturn dry out of his life force further proves our theory of him having the devil fruit. He is literally the devil, where he makes a contract with his subject and shares part of his powers to them. This includes the immortality he gained and the ability to teleport using the Kabbalah circles. But this is a two-way connection, hence why Joy Boy's haki, when unleashed from Emmet, reached Imu, making him bend his knee. This was the greatest trauma reawakening and humiliation Imu must have faced since 800 years ago. It hurt this man so bad that his devil fruit power, which had allowed the summoning of the Gorosei to break, hence why the other Gorosei were sent back to Marie Joie. Imu also, as the devil, plays God on Earth, as from a biblical context, God is flooding the world to erase the sin of man that was left behind. Imu, in a way, is replicating this, associating himself as a deity. In fact, in katakana, Nerona spells out Kami, and Imu spells Hotoke, which means Buddha. This is his claim to the world, being the deity that controls everything behind a veil. However, when we go back to the Bible, in 2 Corinthians 4:4, it states, Satan, who is the god of this world, has blinded the minds of those who don't believe. They are unable to see the glorious light of the good news. This directly correlates to Imu, who has blinded the world with his lies and manipulation, where the glorious light of the good news is the return of Joy Boy and the coming of dawn that was prophesied. Joy Boy is the light and Imu is the false deity of the One Piece world, and Luffy is Jesus' resurrection. That's a video for another day.
What the hell are you talking about?
However, with Garling joining and strengthening the ranks of the Gorosei, we need someone to stand up for the people of the world, and that is none other than the Revolutionary Army as we move to Kanbaka Kingdom. Here, Koala and the generals of the revolutionaries are discussing Vegapunk's message. The most important thing being discussed though is that they too will have to find the One Piece, as whoever finds it will not only become king of the pirates, but they will get to wield devastating power for themselves, possibly having the ability to save the world from sinking. They also finally understand why the Celestials have made their home base so high up in the Red Line, started the construction of places like Tequila Wolf, Vodka Wolf, Rum Wolf, and Bourbon Wolf all around the world to connect it with their own bridges. It's like Imu started the problem of the flooding, and now bro is creating a stupid ass solution with all these bridges built with slave labor. All the pieces though are falling into place, while of course Monkey D.Dragon is still yapping. A man stands up off his chair, putting the wine back down on the table, and you might think it'll be another ... But nope, Monkey D.Dragon stares out into the sea and says, "We must hurry and achieve victory for our cause before the people of the world kill each other to secure land." I am sick of this dude doing nothing. Is that all he said? The chapter ends there. Bro, do something. I'm sick of you not doing anything. Channel your hockey, or like show electricity or something. Show like your number two has more clout than you now. All you do is stare east.
I'm here to tell you right now, we don't care.
Let me tell you.
Okay, look, this time it's not just words from Dragon, okay? I can feel it. I can feel it. He is about to do something. That's my GOAT. We can't abandon our GOAT in his greatest time of need, okay? All right, Dragon Gang, we gotta support this man, all right? You guys might have just read that as just another yapping to something by Dragon, which will never come to fruition, but not me. As one of the top ranked ... analyzers in the world, the wind is about to blow because Monkey D.Dragon is going head to head against Garling, Figarland, and his God's Knight.
The stuff that this man has done since he has been the executive of the New York Knicks, I'm gonna lose my mind. I ain't gonna be able to do the rest of the show. I'm telling you right now, it comes out of my mouth. I'm not gonna be able to control myself because I'm barely able to right now.
Garling has already alluded to a great revolution starting in the world now. You know those 8 nations that have gone into full rebellion against the world government with Sabo being their symbol? Well, now, after the reveal of the world sinking and the expose on the government, more and more nations will choose that path. Especially big players like Alabasta and Drum Kingdom after Vivi inevitably gets the word out about her own findings through the World Economic newspaper. But all of these nations are separated throughout the world, and as a singular force, they won't be able to hang with the Marines or the government's forces. However, with Dragon's declaration, the Flame Emperor and the revolutionaries will rise up to unite these revolutions, causing multiple fires for the world government to put out. Sabo, being the Flame Emperor who controls fire, will control all of these sparks of rebellion to defeat the world government. We already know from Akainu's constant crying behind his desk just how thinly stretched the Marines' resources are. So the only force available and capable of going head to head against the revolutionaries will be the God's Knight. It's not a coincidence that Oda decided to have Garling be promoted and literally have Dragon stand up and not just say ... This is a huge deal. While Luffy and the Straw Hats are doing their own adventures in Elbaf, we will witness Monkey D.Dragon get rid of his deadbeat status and show us his true green hockey powers against the red hockey of Garling Figarland. It's written in the star, guys. Red is opposite of green on the color wheel. Just look. It's obvious, okay? About to happen. Please, Dragon, do something. They won't stop dogging me if you don't do something. These comments, man, you guys are brutal, bro. Dragon's still coming to Egghead. Now we gotta discuss probably the biggest L taken by the Gorosei, which is their failure to kill Vegapunk. We learned last chapter from Lilith that just from her being alive, they can restore all of the Vegapunks. Their sense of self seems to be connected to one another. Furthermore, this chapter we see that Edison had activated the Cloud Factory, causing a huge cluster to be formed, which led the Punk records at the top of Egghead to float away into the sky. This takes York completely by surprise as the Egghead hatches out, leading us to the creation of a Vegapunk Megazord, which has body parts from Shaka, Edison, Pythagoras, Atlas, all of the Vegapunks conjured together into one being. They are all present aboard the Punk records, guiding the combined memory and research of Vegapunk towards the future. They quickly head up Wadaria, likely looking for a safe passage because even though they are up in the sky, they are devil fruit users who can fly. Just Kizaru could easily show up in their location even up in the air. And let's not forget Fujitora, who could change the gravity of the clouds for it to drop. However, the likely spot for Punk records to end up is going to be Elbaf, location where Saul and Vegapunk took all of Ohara's records over 20 years ago. And look, Elbaf is suggested to have a giant tree. And where does the giant tree lead to? Probably a sky island. And that's where Punk records is gonna end up in, at the top of Yggdrasil. Similarly, near the end of Elbaf or during it, Punk records will make contact with Lilith and enter the Giant's Island, giving the Straw Hats a huge boost in power for the final war. If you enjoyed this, watch this next banger video on screen right now. Please check us out on Patreon. Whenever we don't cover One Piece chapters, like the last chapter, we didn't cover it. From now on, me and Yusuf will be doing reactions and like a mini review to all of you members and Patreons on our Patreon and members only section on the channel. Right now, I just did a Blue Lock chapter 274, like a mini review, so you guys can check that out.